Oh, there we go. Hi. Okay. Oh, that looks a little bit. Today's show. Here we go. Um, Good to see you. Just doing a little technical bits. There we go. So, the topic of today's show is taking off the lid, lifting the lid. So the official title is, where is it? Lifting the lid on all that you could be. How does it get any better than that? Hi, for the people who are watching, I'm just doing a quick technical dippity dap for the people who have asked to be notified when I go live. So I'm just letting them know. There we go. So if you'd like to be notified when I go live with this weekly show, then just let me know. Oh, I'm slightly squiffy. Well, that would be in keeping with the whole being different kind of theme. So, hi and welcome. So, we're lifting the lid on all that you could be. So, how many times, particularly from childhood, have you been told, put a lid on it? So that's an expression in the here in the UK. Let's just go back to, there we go. That's an expression here in the UK. Where we're told, you know, put a lid on it is basically another way of saying shut up, be quiet, make yourself small, you know, children should be seen and not heard, all of those things. Hey Harish, thanks for your lovely thumbs up, and great to see you all. Let me just, I'm wondering how I can see, oh, there we go, I can see your comments, that's cool. Yes, oh, fabulous. So, how many times have you been told to put a lid on it, or, you know, be made to feel by others that you just being you, you just being the difference that you are, just being the you that you are, is too much for the people around you? Would you be willing to let that go now? Thank you. And it's okay to let that go. And what if now is your time to be you and just take the lid off, let the pressure cooker explode if that's what it takes. You know, growing up, I remember my mum used to have a pressure cooker, which was quite a new fancy thing for the kitchen. Hey Geraldine, back in the day, and what it was a if you're not familiar with a pressure cooker, it's a pressurized saucepan with a special lid that would cook your food at high pressure, so it would cook it more intensely and faster. And if you didn't get it right, I remember one time my mum, like, she did something that she didn't do, something she was supposed to do with the pressure cooker, or she forgot about it or whatever. But I remember at one point the pressure cooker had this like twisty lid on top, and through the center of this lid, like, was whooshing all the contents of it. I think she was making stew, and it was lentil stew, and I just remember lentils and sauce going all over, being pushed up through the pressure of this pressure cooker and going all over the ceiling in the kitchen and all down everywhere. So that's what happens with that's like taking the lid off the pressure cooker. The pressure from inside is so intense that it all goes flying, like explodes all over, in our case, all over the kitchen. And it was one hell of a clear up. Hey Tanya. So Tanya's saying, oh good, it was really easy to get to see me today. Fabulous. Yeah, so if you have any questions or any comments about this topic of lifting the lid, how to lift the lid, and is it safe to lift the lid, or anything that that you have around this subject. Hey Lisa, good to have you here. So yeah, lifting the lid on the full you, the true you, the difference of you, the uniqueness of you. So everywhere that you have been made wrong for being too much, for being too loud, too funny, too fast, too clever, any of those things, too intense, too whatever, and you've forced the lid down, would you now be willing to let that go, please? And all that sighing, sorry, that's just the energy changing, and you probably noticed the energy change there as well. So everything that brings up and lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So those weird words were the clearing statement. If you've never heard it before, you can find out more about it at theclearingstatement.com. But you don't really need to know how it works. Just know it does work. It clears, scoops up all the energy and just lets it go. So yeah. So where have you found yourself putting a lid on it, putting a lid on you, putting a lid on your fastness, on your cleverness, on your funniness, on your skills and capacities, either because they were just, you thought they might be too much for the people around you, or you wanted to give other people a chance, or, you know, whatever the reasons. So Harish is saying, how to get out of limiting beliefs. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and that is, so this is a little bit about getting out of limiting beliefs, and it's more about getting out of the places that we have decided that we must limit ourselves, and we must close down ourselves and lock down ourselves. You know, lockdown, we're just coming out of the here in the UK, we're just coming out of the COVID pandemic imposed lockdown, and how much have we locked down the lid on ourselves and stopped ourselves from being the fullness, the magnificence, the gift that we truly be. And what if you didn't need to do that anymore? So it's letting go, not so much of limiting beliefs, perhaps the limiting beliefs that have brought us to the point where we feel we must limit ourselves and close down our capacities because they've been too much, too fast, too loud, or whatever. Yeah, so saying, when I speak to my neighbour, what I do, then I get annoyed with myself because I speak about my husband, or them, but never you speak about yourself. Is that what you're saying? And that's, yeah, that's quite a way around it. So so sometimes we do these things because we have an awareness, and sometimes we do it as a way of hiding. So a question you could ask yourself is truth. Am I aware of what they, am I aware of something in the situation? And just allow yourself the energy of the awareness of that, because one thing that we say in Access is speak to what people can hear, and there's a lot of stuff that people like, you know, the run-of-the-mill neighbours, you know, the people who are very entrenched in this reality. There's a lot of stuff about us and our uniqueness that other people, they can't hear, and they're not willing to hear or see or be aware of. And sometimes we effectively put a lid on that. So it's not so much, I mean talking about everyone else apart from yourself, that's not so much putting a lid on who you are. It's just not speaking of who you are, you know. So but even when you are talking about other people and other things, can you still be who you be? Can you still be the truth of you, even if you're not shoving who you are in other people's faces, you know, by talking about, I do this and I am this. And if people can't hear that, what if you can still be who you be, and just not physically, you know, push the rest of what people can't hear onto them? Maybe that's an awareness. And, you know, do like put in the comments any response you have to this. And it's a really fun thing to play with. You know, you could ask, you know, truth, am I doing this to hide who I truly be and put a lid on who I truly be? Or am I just aware of what they can hear and what they can't hear? And you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and you're not wrong. And even if, you know, you're aware of situations where you have put a lid on you, don't make yourself wrong for it. You know, just noticing that you've done that, you know, is a huge gift. And sometimes people just can't receive who you truly be. And that's okay as well. And it's okay to be as much of you as you choose in every moment. And being aware that it is your choice is a huge potency. That is your power. That is part of your power. So Tanya's saying, yes, I get it. I guess it was kind of being diplomatic. Cool. So yeah. So everything that brings up and lets down, would you now destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because, you know, being diplomatic is, you know, that can have lots of interpretations as well. So so what I wanted to particularly share with you, and I've got a special list here. Oh, and it's on a noisy, put it on a special platform. There we go. So be honest with yourself was one of the tools that I wanted to share with you today. So and that comes into that situation, you know. Be honest with yourself. Are you honoring the truth of you? And honoring the truth of you could be being quiet in that moment and not speaking, you know, not being as huge as you could be, not being your full potential in that moment, because you're aware that the situation, the people around you would not be able to receive that, and it wouldn't be an honouring of you to be that in that situation. So be honest with yourself. And sometimes, you know, we put a lid on ourselves because it would be too much. We have decided it would be too much effort, too much energy to receive all of the judgment that we perceive would be there in that situation with those people if we took the lid off of who we truly be. So be honest with you, and don't make yourself wrong. You know, it just just the awareness, just when you notice that you have made a choice to put the lid on yourself, or you've made a choice to allow yourself to be as different as you truly be. And even if you have chosen to turn yourself up in the face of judgment, just notice and play with it, and notice what that created, and never make yourself wrong. Because and you can always ask even more questions, like, you know, in the moment of choice, you could ask, okay, if I choose this, put the lid on, what would that create? Just in your head. And these questions can be like super fast, and the response can be an energy, not an answer necessarily. Sometimes you get words as well, and often it's simply an energy. So ask, what would this create if I put a lid on it and get the energy of that? What would this create if I turn myself up and get the energy of that? In each situation. So Lisa's saying, hi Nikki, I've missed you. Oh, thank you. Oh, what fun. I missed you too. Maybe we could meet for bar swap, following all the guidelines, of course, and I'll message you. That would be fun. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so be honest with yourself. Ask questions. What would create the most? And what else? And another thing is in the face of judgment. So when we know that there's people around us who are going to judge us, it can be an automatic response to turn ourselves down and put a lid on it. And what, ask yourself, what would this create? What would it create? Would it create the life that I desire, more of the life I desire, or would it decay the life that I desire? And just get a sense of that, because often in the face of judgment, never be afraid of the judgment of others, because that is just their thing. It's not a reflection of you and who you be. It's not a reflection of whether you are valuable in this world or not. It's simply their stuff, their judgment. And when you are willing to fully be you and take the lid off and turn yourself up even in the face of judgment, then what more could that create? Because other people's judgments, and oh my God, our own judgments, they can be the harshest. So especially if it's you that's judging you, that's the time to turn you up even more. And ask, who does that belong to? Who does that judgment belong to? And if it lightens up, even in the slightest little tiniest bit, then that that is not you and it doesn't belong to you. So let that lid off and let yourself be fully you. Turn yourself up. Be even more. Be even more of the you that you truly be. Turn yourself up in the face of judgment, because judgment cannot hurt you. It's only when you take judgment and you stick yourself with it, that is when it becomes really painful. If you allow judgment to flow on through you, just like water in a stream flows on through, you don't have to. You can receive, that's receiving judgment. And when you are willing to allow the judgments to flow on through you and past you and beyond you, then the judgments cannot hurt you. Then you can be as much as you be. Truly turn yourself up and allow the judgments to flow on through. And that is true receiving. And the more that you're willing to be that and receive that. And it's not in a prove it kind of way. I can prove that I am, I am me. Yeah, bring it on. What you going to do about it? Because that's a different kind of energy. It's just, okay, I'm me and I choose to be even more of me, regardless of what other people around me are choosing. If they're choosing judgment, then that's okay. The judgment can just flow on through me. And you being willing to turn you up even in the face of judgment, what more could that create? What could that create for the people who are bombarding, who have the judgments? What more could that create for them? Because sometimes, it never shows up the way we expect it to. And you being fully you, even in the face of judgment, that could be an invitation. That could be a real gift to other people around you. That could be a real gift to even just one person who was like previously judging you, and they see you despite their judgment turning you up and being even more of you, regardless of what other people are thinking or saying around you. That could be a true turning point for someone around you. That could be a real like, wow, if they can do it and they didn't die, I can do it too. Perhaps even I could do it too. What a gift. What gift could you be by being willing to take the lid off and be all that you truly be? Okay, so yeah, one way to let go, to take the lid off and be more of you, be all that you truly could be. One way is to let go of the pain of the past, the times in the past where other people have judged you, where other people have said, oh, put a lid on it. To let go of those places, spaces, memories, that pain, if there's any residual pain. So everything that brings up and lets down, would you now destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Oh, nice cup of tea. Yeah. So letting go of the past and all the past times, when people have tried to, or insisted that you quieten down, slow down, stop being so brilliant, stop being so such a show off, all of that. When, I mean, how many times have you been accused of being a show off when you were simply being the exuberant expression of life? That is the being that you truly be. So everything that doesn't allow you now to be that exuberant expression of life, would you now let that go, please? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And right on cue, the garbage truck has come. I don't know if you can hear it outside, but it's come to carry away all that garbage, all that rubbish, all that crap from the past, everywhere that you've been told to put a lid on it, shut up, be quiet, slow down, all of that is now being carried away with the garbage truck outside. So Tanya's saying, a show of lots of time as a child. Yes. Lots and lots of times as a child. Yeah. And what if we didn't have to carry those old past pains and hurts forward with us into the future, into the now, into the present and into the future? What if we could let those go? Now, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pod, core, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So I'm doing a 5-day challenge, which is called Past You Don't Own Me, and it's all about letting go of pain from the past. And it takes us on a 5-day journey where you go let go of pain from the past and then become more present in the now, and then create your future fresh, being more of you with no lid in sight. Okay, and if you'd like to join me on the next free 5-day challenge, you go to choosingfortoday.com/5, the number 5, and we're starting in just, I think it's about 11 days we're starting, so I'm very excited about that. And if you're watching this in the future, and there's probably a 5-day challenge coming up soon. I'm going to be doing them about 6 times a year, so look out for it. It will be at www.choosingfortoday.com/5, the number 5. So yeah, be honest with yourself. How do you be all that you can be without the lid on? Be honest with yourself. Ask questions. Truth, is this working for me? And in the face of judgment, turn yourself up. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Other people use judgment to control us. So the less you allow other people's judgments to stop you, the less other people can control you, and the more you are fully you with no lid in sight. And the other one was let go of past pains, let go of past hurts. And Tanya's saying a show off. Oops. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, being told you were show off lots of times as a child. Yeah. And, how many times do people love a show off? That's what entertainment is all about. It's where actors and people have been willing to stand up and show off their skills, show off their gifts, show off their capacities. How grateful have I been for the people who've been willing to stand up stand-up comedians who've been willing to stand up and tell jokes and show off their capacities, even though they've been, imagine how much they've been judged for that, and how much the people who have been, been willing to stand up and show off their singing voice, or show off their mimicry talents, or their acting talents, whatever it is, how much they have been judged. How grateful I am for them being willing to stand up, turn themselves up, show off and show up. Yeah, and what gift could you be the more that you are willing to stand up and show off your true capacities, show up and shine the true being that you be. So yeah, and lastly, how are we going? Yeah, lastly, the other thing, it's like, how much kindness can you be to you? So last week's episode was all about kindness, and kindness is when we are being unkind to ourselves, then that is it's a disservice to the world. Okay, so I talked about kindness in the last episode, and if you'd like to find that, go to my YouTube channel. It's there, or you can look back on the Choosing for Today. If you're watching this on the Facebook page, it's still there, and you can watch that. So, what if you're willing to afford yourself the same kindness that you would have for others when you see another person being the being that they be, being willing to stand up and show off their capacities, show off their skills, and show up as themselves? How much kindness, how much respect, how much acknowledgement would you be willing to give to them? And what if you were willing to afford yourself that same level of kindness, that same level of acknowledgement? Give it to yourself when you show up as you. Stand up and be you. Hey Shilpa, good to see you. Yeah, what if you were willing to afford yourself that same level of respect, of acknowledgement, of kindness every time that you notice that you are being you, that you've taken the lid off, and that you're willing to be more of the true being that you be. So be kind to yourself, acknowledge yourself for when you are that, even especially in the face of judgment. And remember, you are not responsible for the way that other people respond to you. You know, if you are simply being you, being the speed that you be, being the smartness that you be, being the capacities that you be, and other people choose to judge you for it, that is them. That is all about them. And often other people accuse you of what they are being, other people, or what they are not willing to be. So if you are being accused of being a show-off, then maybe that's something they are not willing to be. They're not willing to show up as them. And that's why they're accusing you of that. Or if they're accusing you of being competitive, you know, maybe that's truly what they are being. And because often other people accuse us of what they really are doing and being. Yes, says Shilpa. Yeah. Okay, so there's loads of ways to how to get the lid off, to take the lid off and be more of the being you truly be. And if you have any questions or comments, then please put them below and I will come back and read them later. Even if you're watching this weeks later, then, you know, just tag me in them and I would love to hear all that you have to say. And if you have, so this week's topic came from the lovely Leslie, who suggested, you know, that taking the lid off all that you can be. And yeah, how do you take the lid off was the topic that Leslie gave me for this week's show. So if you have a subject you'd like me to talk about or a topic that you'd like me to talk around, then do put it in the comments. I would love to go with your suggestions. So, and if it would be fun for you to come and join us in the free 5-day challenge, then go to www.choosingfortoday.com/5, the number 5, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for all your lovely comments and your gratitude. Mwah. See you next time.